Is the screen visible, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Students, is the screen visible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So good morning, students. Today we'll start with Unit 1, that is Introduction of Control System, Basics of Control System. Okay, I'm Professor Vijaya Ahe from ENTC department, going to handle your subject Control System within this semester, theory as well as practical. So before starting, you should know, already I told you the objective of the unit, objective of the course, then outcomes as well. So keeping in mind objective of this course, objective of Unit 1 is to introduce different types of control systems. First objective. And what is outcome? After learning these types of control system, students should be able to understand the difference between open loop and closed loop system. So this is your outcome along with objective. So that you have to remember, okay? Because you are going to answer this difference between open loop and closed loop system. So keeping in mind, let us start with Unit 1. Content for Unit 1, Part 1, definition of system, components and representation of a system, then classification of control systems, then comparison between open loop and closed loop system, then Part 2, block diagram of representation of a system, then transfer function of control system or system under consideration, then Part 3, signal flow graph. You are going to solve the example related to this signal flow graphs. Then Mason's gain formula. So by using this Mason's gain formula, you are going to reduce the given control system. Okay. So these are the contents under Unit 1. So let us start with definition, basic definition of control system. So what is meant by system? First, system means number of elements, number of components all together is nothing but your system, like any type of system. Okay, so the proper definition of system is a system is a combination of, a system is a combination of or an arrangement of different physical components or elements which act together as a entire unit to achieve certain objective. This is nothing but your system, definition of system. For example, आता क्लासरूम मध्ये ज्यावेळेस असायचो आम्ही while taking lecture in classroom, always I have given example of classroom. Here also I am going to take the same example of classroom. So classroom is a physical system. So what are the components of that classroom or elements of classroom? Physical components. So in a classroom, there is a benches, okay? In a classroom, blackboard or green board is there, fans are there, lights are there. Then along with these fans and lights, curtains are there, windows are there, okay? Now, in addition to this, in modern classroom, LCD is there, right? Then white screen board is there, whiteboard is there. So all these are nothing but physical components of classroom. So for example, I have taken a classroom is a physical system, a room along with combination of benches, blackboard, fans, light, then whiteboard, green board, LCD, white screen, Okay, all these are physical components and can be called as a classroom, which act as elementary system. So what is mean by system? Are you getting the definition of system? And with example, I have explained what is system. So this you can call as a system. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, along with physical component in a classroom, what is live component? Live component is nothing but in a classroom, professor is delivering his lecture or her lecture, right? So it becomes a control system, right? Because teacher, faculty or professor is controlling that system. Are you getting the things, students? So in a classroom, professor, for example, today I'm taking your lecture or in online mode. I'm controlling the class. You are listening to me, right? Now this is nothing but control system. Somebody, something is controlling the system is nothing but control system. So try to understand the meaning of two words, control and system. First, you should know the system. You should know system. Then who is going to control that system? Somebody is going to control that system, right? Classrooms, जर आपण physical system consider केलं, for example, so who is going to control? Faculty. Now I am here now controlling the classroom, okay, in online mode also. So I am nothing but controller of classroom in online mode. So in a classroom, professor is delivering her lecture. It becomes a control system. Okay, he or she tries to regulate, direct, or command the students in order to achieve the objective, which is to input good knowledge to the students. What is objective? Objective is to input, to give, to transfer a good knowledge of control system to the students. So this is called system. So with example, I have explained about system. Then what is control system? So are you getting this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Ashish, Bharat. Thank you for your feedback. Students, in between, please give me your feedback. And you are supposed to write the important points in your notebook. Now, this is what about system now, components of a system. Suppose, take example of industry or any plant. There is a process, there is a controller, and all together is nothing but your system. So you should know the components of a system, of control system. So very first component is plant. Now what is plant? The portion of a system which is to be controlled or regulated, is called as the plant, right? Somebody is in the room, just wait. Admitting students. So the portion of a system which is to be controlled and regulated is called as the plant. A plant may be a piece of equipment, perhaps just a set of machine parts. The purpose of plant is to perform a particular operation. For example, mechanical device, a heating furnace, a chemical reactor, or a spacecraft is nothing but plant. These are the elements of or components of system. Okay, somebody is in meeting room. Just wait. Admitting students. Now coming to process. Now this is our main important point. Process. So what is process? Like any example, process means something is transferring, some physical form is transferred to another physical form by using process. That is process. So any operation to be controlled is called as process. Any operation. मतलब temperature regulated temperature असू दे, regulated water असू दे, heating furnace असू दे, all these are processes. Boiling a water is process. Boiling a milk is process. Okay. Making a tea is process. Anything that can transfer one form into another form is process. So any operation to be controlled, which is to be controlled, is called a process. So examples are chemical processes are available, economic processes are available, and biological processes are available. So this is nothing but block diagram of your process. So within this block, any type of process is included. Now, what is input and what is output of this process? Input is any physical form, physical quantity. Output is another physical quantity or form. Okay, along with this input and output. But here in control system, we are calling input to the process is nothing but manipulated variable or manipulated input. So you have to remember the proper word in control system. Input is nothing but manipulated input, or in some references, it is also called as manipulated variable. Okay, and output of process is nothing but a response or controlled variable. In some references, it is also called as controlled variable. In some references, it is called as response variable. Now, along with input and output, there is another third component is present with process. So what is that third component? तिसरा component काय आहे बघा प्रोसेसशी related, that is nothing but disturbance input. So that disturbance input is nothing but any form of noise that can be internally generated within process or that can be externally generated. Environmental disturbance, inherent disturbance. So there are two types. I will explain in next slide about types of disturbances. Right now, you have to remember only process. So here is your process. Okay. And what are the inputs and outputs to process? So input is manipulated variable or manipulated input, and output is, this is output of your process. Okay. Output is nothing but response of your process. Okay, everything we are going to express in terms of equation. Process means first order तुमचा process आहे, the second order process आहे. Along with that, you will get response. That means output. Again, depending on input, whether you are going to apply step input, ramp input, or parabolic or hyperbolic input, depending on that, you will get response. And that's why the name given to input is manipulated input, and name for output of your process is response variable, along with second input, that is disturbance. Okay, that can be internal, that can be external disturbance. Disturbance is nothing but sort of noise, you can say, similar to your communication system. In communication system, there are noise, okay, white noise, then types of noises are available in communication system. Similarly, here also, this disturbance is nothing but sort of noise. So are you with me, students, getting the things?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yash.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Sanskar. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So process. Any operation to be controlled is called a process. So I have given 3-4 examples of process. Okay. आपण घरात सकाळी उठल्यापासून बघा चहा सगळेजण पितात. So boiling a water is also process, but that process is divided into some parts. बघा, इनिशियली काय असतं, थंड पाणी आपण पॉट मध्ये घेतोय, बरोबर, हीट अप्लाय करतोय, दॅट इज ऑल्सो प्रोसेस. त्याच्यानंतर हीट अप्लाय केल्यानंतर काय होतं, टेम्परेचर ऑफ वॉटर इज इन्क्रीज्ड, राईट, अँड आफ्टर सम टाइम वेपर्स आर मूव्हिंग आउट ऑफ युअर पॉट. ओके, right? So what happened exactly, that water is converted now into vapor. This is also process. This is also process. Boiling a water and out of your pot, vapors are coming into out. Okay. So that is also process. So try to understand the meaning of process. Now, Next component is controller. Next component of control system is controller. बघा एक्झाम्पल घेतलंय आपण क्लासरूमचं. In that case, faculty, professor, right now I am is controller of classroom in online mode. So here for process also there is a controller. There should be a controller to control the process, because by any means there is a change in output of process. So in order to regulate that output at desired value, at desired level, controller should be connected before your process. Okay, so what is controller? The element of the system itself or external to the system which controls the plant or the process is called as controller. Are you getting the meaning of controller? Because you are going to design controller for some specific processes. Yes, are you with me, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Okay, beta, okay.
Yes.
Example, on-off switch to control bulb is a simple example of controller. On-off switch काय झालंय तुमचा कंट्रोलर झालाय ना, तुम्हाला बल्ब जर ऑन ऑफ करायचा आहे, राईट? काय आपण करणार आहोत? बल्ब ऑन आणि ऑफ करण्यासाठी आपण स्विच यूज करणार आहोत. That on off switch, or you can say push button switch, is nothing but controller to control the on off action of your bulb or light. It's very simple. Controller to control the process. Function of controller is nothing but to control the process. Process means to control the variables. Which variable? Manipulating variable. Because process depends on manipulating variable. So what is function of controller? Controller is controlling the manipulating variable that is acting as an input to process. Okay. So this is nothing but your controller. Somebody is in waiting room. Now this is the block diagram of controller. Not controller, complete control system. This is the block diagram of control system. थोडंसं मोठं करते मी याला. Is it visible, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now students, you are supposed to draw this. So I will take this flow control later on. Now this is the block diagram of your control system. So control system, what are the components, important components in control system? First one is process. Second one is controller. Third one is comparator. Okay. Now see the process. I'm going to explain the block diagram of control system. You are supposed to draw this. Okay. थोडंसं enlarge करते हैं, व्यवस्थित दिसेल म्हणजे. Is it okay now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now,
Yes, ma'am.
coming to this point, this is your set point. Set point value for particular variable. Set point value for particular. Students, please wait. I have to open door. Please wait. Just a minute. So coming back, kahan se aate hain hum? Okay. So this is nothing but block diagram of control system. Students, are you with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Now you are supposed to draw this block diagram. Okay. Question may asked based on this. Draw the block diagram of control system and explain. Draw and explain block diagram of control system. So in between, I'm going to tell you the questions that can be asked in some examination or in same examination. So student, you are supposed to write all these things. Okay. Now, chalo abhi block diagram dekhte hain. So in this block diagram of control system, there is a process, there is a controller, and there is a comparator. And this control system is with feedback. So this is nothing but your comparator. This is nothing but your set point values or set point variable, you can say. Okay. So set value is applied to comparator. Okay. Along with feedback signal. So what happened? There is a addition or subtraction depending on the process, okay, depending on the variable, an error signal is generated. That ET, error signal is generated. Okay, this is BT, this is ET, okay, and this is UT. So error signal is generated. This is also called as comparator. This is also called as error detector. Okay, so in some references, error detector word is used. In some references, comparator is used. Okay, so remember this thing. Function of comparator and error detector is same. Okay, just to compare these two signals and generate error signal. So that error signal is applied to controller block, ET, in time domain. So that error signal is applied to controller block. Now what is function of controller? Generating output according to error signal. Okay, that output of controller is given to process as an input. This is your process block. Okay. Now input to process is nothing but manipulating variable. So that manipulating variable can be manipulated as per error signal generated over here. This is the function of controller, to control the process. Okay. Now along with this modified manipulating variable that is acting as an input to process, your output is generated and output is coming to desired value. Output is coming to desired value. So first output, there are two outputs, unmeasured output and measured output. So I'm talking about measured output. This measured output is now came to desired value because of function of controller. Now in this case, I have not taken any signal coming from disturbance. Okay. So if there is any disturbance signal, that is input or maybe external signal, external disturbance coming into the process, accordingly your measured output is changing, modifying. Okay. So that sample is taken and feeding back to comparator. Again, there is a change in error signal. Accordingly, your controller is acting, controlling the manipulating variable. According to manipulating variable, process will change. According to that change in manipulating variable, your measured output is coming to again desired value. Are you getting the operation of control system? What
Yes,
happened to
ma'am.
controller? What happened to process? Just a second, somebody is in waiting room. A mole. Okay. 70. So this is nothing but your block diagram of control system. Now example. Coming to example. Yes, admitting, please wait. Now this is nothing but example of control system. Is it visible, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Atharva. Okay, beta. So now see the process. Where is process? This is your process. Process is here. Now this block is nothing but your controller. This block is nothing but your controller. Okay. To control the flow of water. To control the flow of water. So this is your process. This is your water tank. This is nothing but a pipe. Okay. So what happened? By using Levitronics pump, you can control the water flow. This is your pump controller. This is nothing but your filter. That is function of filter is to filter out the dust component that is present in the water. Okay. That water is transferred through filter to flow meter. So in flow meter, you can use orifice, rotameter, manometer tube. Okay. So that is output of this flow meter is given to process, and accordingly you will get output of your process. But this is nothing but your closed loop control system. Okay. So sample of your what you call flow is taken, that is given to pump controller. Output of pump controller is given to Levitronics pump system, and accordingly there is a flow of water that is controlled. So this is your controlled closed loop system. Okay, this is nothing but your controller, and flow of water is controlled. Okay. So in many what you call buildings, this system is used. Now this is what about controller. Chalo aage chalte hain. Now you should know these terms, important terms: inputs, outputs, disturbances, manipulated variable, controlled output, all these things. So these are the important terms you have to remember related to control system only. आपण input output असं तर म्हणणारच आहोत. पण what is input? Proper term for input is manipulated variable. Proper term for output is controlled variable or controlled output. So manipulated and controlled. Manipulated is nothing but input. Controlled is nothing but output. That you have to remember. Okay. So more information related to input and output is given over here. So what is input? Input, it is an applied signal or an excitation signal applied to control system from an external energy source in order to produce a specified output. This is nothing but input. Okay. So this is the definition of input in control system. Now for each system, there must be excitation, right? And system accept it as an input. So you can apply in electronic circuit, you can apply input is nothing but excitation. Excitation is nothing but your biasing to the circuit. That is excitation, right? Excitation signal. So up to date you have applied DC voltage as a excitation to electronic circuit. So similarly here also you have to apply some excitation signal. Okay, that is nothing but applied input signal to the system. Okay, so it is an applied signal or excitation signal applied to control system from an external energy source. आता external energy source म्हणजेच काय? आपल्या इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स फील्ड मध्ये आपण म्हणूया की पॉवर सप्लाय कडनं आपण डीसी सोर्स देतो, राईट? एसी सोर्स द्यायचा असेल तर आपण व्हॅरिएक यूज करतो. So all these are nothing but external energy sources in order to produce a specific output. So that is input. Now coming to next important variable term, that is output. What is output? Output is controlled one. So it is the particular signal of interest or the actual response obtained from a control system when input is applied to it. When input is applied to it. For analysis, for analyzing the behavior of a system, for such input, it is necessary to define the output of a system, right? So there are modeling of system. Two types of modelings are available. First one is deterministic modeling. Second one is behavioral modeling. So in order to analyze the behavior of your system, behavior means how your system is responding to the applied input is nothing but behavior. किंवा आपण म्हणूया बिहेवियर ऑफ स्टुडंट. सपोज मी प्रथमला खूप रागवले, रोल नंबर 1 फॉर एक्झाम्पल प्रथम टेक इट इझी. बिहेवियर बघा, बिहेवियर, व्हॉट इज मिनिंग ऑफ बिहेवियर? फॉर एक्झाम्पल रोल नंबर 1 आहे प्रथम. प्रथमला मी काहीतरी टास्क दिला आणि त्याने ते केलं नाहीये आणि म्हणून मी त्याला काहीतरी पनिशमेंट दिली फॉर एक्झाम्पल. नो आफ्टर गिव्हिंग पनिशमेंट, व्हॉट इज बिहेवियर ऑफ प्रथम? म्हणजे तो कसा बिहेव करतो? सो तो पॉझिटिव्हली घेतोय की मला पनिशमेंट केली म्हणून इन रिव्हर्स डायरेक्शन मध्ये रिॲक्शन देतोय, मॅडम आय हॅव नॉट डन दिस, व्हाय यू हॅव गिव्हन मी पनिशमेंट, असं बिहेवियर असतंय त्याचं? की तो पॉझिटिव्हली घेऊन अगदी व्यवस्थित त्याचं जी पनिशमेंट दिली असेल, पनिशमेंट इन दी फॉर्म ऑफ अकॅडमिक्स ओनली. सो सपोज मी त्याला असाइनमेंट लिहायला सांगितली तर तो असाइनमेंट व्यवस्थित लिहून मला सबमिट करतोय का? So this is nothing but your behavior in positive direction, in negative direction. Okay. So similarly over here in this system, in control system, if your input is proper, your process is behave in good manner. Good manner means in proper, in natural way. If your input is not proper, your process is not proper means some disturbances are there. If your input is having some, for example, some disturbance, say disturbance only, at that time, what is behavior of process? How your process is behaving to applied input variable? That is nothing but behavior of system. So in order to analyze the behavior of system for applied input, it is necessary to define the output of the system. So कंट्रोल सिस्टीम मध्ये एक्झॅक्टली मुलांना कसं जायचं असतं फ्लो? आपण इलेक्ट्रॉनिक सर्किट मध्ये फ्रॉम इनपुट टू आउटपुट जात असतो, राईट? सो हिअर इन कंट्रोल सिस्टीम यू हॅव टू फोकस ऑन फर्स्ट ऑन प्रोसेस. You have to define first output variables. According to output variable, your manipulating variable can be defined. According to manipulated variable or change in manipulated variable, your controller can be designed. Okay. According to design of controller, you can use feed forward or feedback system in order to have a desired output. That is nothing but output of process. So this is nothing but analysis of behavior of the system. Sentence खूप सोपा आहे. For analyzing the behavior of system, for such input, it is necessary to define the output of the system. But अगदी रिसर्च होऊ शकतो या सेंटेन्सवर, बिहेवियरल मॉडेलिंग ऑफ सिस्टम. ठीक आहे. सो दिस इज नथिंग बट हाऊ युअर प्रोसेस इज बिहेविंग टू applied input. Analysis can be done. So this is what about input and output. Same block diagram I have used over here. Now I'm going to talk about disturbances. Initially I told you types of disturbances, internal disturbance असू शकतात, external disturbance असू शकतात. The same thing is written over here. Okay. So disturbance is a signal which tends to adversely affect the value of the output of system. Right? Disturbances are undesirable noise, undesirable and unavoidable effects beyond our control that is generated from outside process environment and from within process. Now, if such a disturbance is generated within the system itself, within the process itself, it is called as internal disturbance. If the disturbance generated outside the system acting as extra input, because this disturbance is nothing but extra input to your process, right? So the disturbance generated outside the system acting as an extra input to the system, in addition to its normal input, affecting the output adversely, is called as an external disturbance. The presence of disturbance is one of the main reasons of using control. So this is what about disturbance. Question may asked for 1 mark or 2 marks. What is disturbance? What are the types of disturbance? Explain. So the presence of the disturbance is one of the main reason of using controller. Students, are you with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Vita. Now, control system and types of control system. Just a second, somebody is in waiting room. 76. Okay. Control system. So you should know the types of control system. Control system is divided into main 2 categories. First one is natural control system and man-made control system. This man-made control system is again subdivided into 2 parts: manual control system and automatic control system. This automatic control system is again divided into subtypes: open loop control system and closed loop control system. So this open loop and closed loop control systems again divided into two subtypes, that is non-linear and linear. This open loop is divided into non-linear control system and linear open loop control system and non-linear open loop control system. Closed loop control system is again divided into, similar to open, closed loop non-linear and closed loop linear control system. So this non-linear and linear closed loop control system is again divided into 2 subtypes, subtypes. Time variant and time invariant non-linear system. Time variant non-linear closed loop control system. Time invariant non-linear closed loop control system. Coming to second part, that is linear control system. Linear is again divided into time variant, time invariant. So time variant linear closed loop control system, and second one is time invariant linear closed loop control system. So student, you are supposed to remember the classification of control system. Okay. Now, just a second, admitting students. एवढा लेट का admit करता है क्या माहिती. चलो आगे चलते हैं. Same thing again with the example I have given. First type of control system, that is natural control system. 2 types again, universe and human body. These are natural control system. Okay, examples of, some examples are given for each classification of control system. First one is natural control system. So universe is natural control system. Nothing is in our hand, right? बघा कोविडची फर्स्ट वेव्ह गेली, सेकंड वेव्ह पण गेली, थर्ड वेव्ह आली आता. We cannot control all these things, right? Because there is no any control in our hand. So this is natural control system, universe. थंडीच्या दिवसामध्ये पाऊस पडतोय, उन्हाळ्यात पण पाऊस पडतोय, बरोबर. पाऊस केव्हाही पडतोय हल्ली. Natural control system. You or me cannot control all these things. So universe is natural control system. Human body is also a good, beautiful example of natural control system, right? Human body. Man-made control system. Vehicle is nothing but man-made control system. Vehicles. Aeroplanes are man-made control system. So many systems are there man-made, but just I have given two examples of each type: man-made control system, vehicles and aeroplanes. Okay. for your understanding only. Manual control systems. Example, room temperature regulation via electric fan is manual control system. You can control manually the temperature of room, okay, or you can regulate the temperature of room manually, okay, via electric fan. Water level controller is manual control system. Next type of control system is automatic control system. Examples, room temperature regulation via AC, that you know very well. Human body temperature control is also automatic control system. Next classification or category you can say is open loop control system. For example, washing machine, toaster, electric fan. So you are familiar with washing machine. Everybody is having washing machine at your home. Toaster पण आहेच आहे तुमच्या घरी. Electric fan पण आहे तुमच्या घरी. So I have given example that we are using in day-to-day life. For better understanding, I have given such a type of example for open loop control system, for man-made, for automatic control system. So all these examples are we are using in day-to-day life, right? Now see, closed loop and open loop control system. Open loop control system, block diagram is like this. This is your control system, okay? Input to control system and output of control system. There is no any feedback taken. So we can draw the block diagram of open loop control system like this. Examples are washing machine, toaster, electric fan. Okay. Washing machine मध्ये बघा मुलांनो, तुम्ही soap, water आणि cloth टाकले की झाले. There is no any feedback given in washing machine. Hence, washing machine is a good example of open loop control system. Input द्यायचंय, output मिळणार. कपडे धुवून मिळणार तुम्हाला. That is output. बस. मग कपडे निघालेत की नाही निघालेत? तुमचं कॉलर अँड कफ निघालं की नाही निघालं शर्टचं? देयर इज नो एनी फीडबॅक गिव्हन टू वॉशिंग मशीन. जसे निघाले तसे तुम्ही वापरू शकता, ओके, ड्राय करू शकता किंवा परत एकदा एक सायकल घेऊ शकता. देयर इज नो एनी क्लोज पाथ इन वॉशिंग मशीन and hence washing machine is an example of open loop control system. Second example is toaster. Toaster मध्ये बघा फक्त ब्रेड टाकायचे, तुम्हाला सेट करायचं आहे इनपुट टेम्परेचर. ते टोस्ट झाले की आपोआप आउटपुट मिळतं तुम्हाला. वरती येत झालं का? देयर इज नो एनी व्हॉट यू कॉल फीडबॅक. मग ते ब्रेड तुमचे व्यवस्थित टोस्ट झाले की अगदी खूप डार्क झाले, देयर इज नो एनी फीडबॅक गिव्हन टू टोस्टर. So this is a open loop control system. You cannot control open loop system. Give input, take output. That is open loop control system. Similar to electric fan also. Now coming to next classification category, that is closed loop control system. Now this is the block diagram of closed loop control system. Students, are you with me?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, beta Ashish. So remember the block diagram of closed loop control system. So in this block, control system is there. Input is applied to control system. Output is taken from control system. I have shown only one input, one output. There are multiple inputs and multiple outputs. So I will explain in next lecture. Okay. So what is SISO? What is MIMO? आता सध्या फक्त आपण introduction to control system घेतोय, part 1. Okay. So this is the block diagram of closed loop control system. Okay. One input, one output. Now here closed loop म्हटलंय बघा, closed loop. Sample of output is taken and feeding to input side. According to that, error signal is generated. Okay. And that modified input is given to control system. So this is nothing but your closed loop control system. Examples. Refrigerator. Yes, only 5 minutes are remaining. I'm going to finish now. Autopilot system. Driverless car. हे काय आपल्याकडे पॉसिबल नाही हा, ड्रायव्हरलेस कार. Just a second. So closed loop control system example is refrigerator. So all you are having refrigerators at your home. So I'm not going to explain again this. Anybody from your side can explain how this refrigerator is acting as closed loop control system. Okay, so I will move fast now. Autopilot system is example of closed loop control system. Driverless car is also closed loop control system. Now, next category is linear versus non-linear control system. And this linear, non-linear control system you are going to study in detail, in detail. So a control system in which output varies linearly with the input is called as linear control system. If you are applying input apply kele 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Accordingly, you will get, according to that variation in input, you will get output. And if you draw the graph of output versus input, you will get linear, straight line. This is nothing but linear system. Meaning is that your output is changing linearly with applied input is called as linear control system. Non-linear control system, there is no any linear relation between input and output variable. So your output is not varying linearly with applied input is called as non-linear control system. Plot दाखवलाय बघा मुलांनो इथे. So output is varying. Up to this point, output is linear to that of input. But after this point, output is non-linear with input. This is non-linear control system. Okay, getting the things, linear and non-linear control system. Got the point?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, beta. Now moving first. Next type. Time invariant versus time variant. आपण इथे करणार आहोत बरं का. Time invariant and time variant. So better to write in your notebook what is time invariant and time variant system. So when the characteristics of the system do not depend upon time itself, then the system is said to be time invariant control system. When the characteristics of system is not depending on time itself, that system we are calling as time invariant control system. त्याच्या उलट टाइम व्हॅरियंट मध्ये काय होतंय? This system, time varying control system is a system in which one or more parameter or variables vary with time. That is time variant. आणि जिथे vary होत नाही with respect to time, that is time invariant. So please remember the definition of time invariant and time variant control system. The next one is continuous data and discrete data system. DSP मध्ये तुम्ही शिकणार आहात मुलांनो discrete data system or signal processing. So here just remember these two words, continuous data and discrete data system. So in continuous data control system, all system variables, that is inputs, are function of continuous time, T. In discrete data system, a discrete time control system involves one or more variables that are known only at discrete time intervals. That is nothing but discrete system, control system. Next category is deterministic versus stochastic control system. So what is this? A control system is deterministic if the response to input is predictable and repeatable. That is nothing but deterministic control system. And if you analyze this deterministic control system, you can model the system. That is nothing but deterministic modeling of your control system, similar to your behavioral modeling. Second type of modeling is nothing but deterministic modeling. Okay. If not, if your control system is if the response to input is not predictable or not repeatable, that means the control system is stochastic. deterministic control system. Response to the input is predictable and repeatable. So this difference you have to remember. So this plot is nothing but your deterministic system. This plot is nothing but your stochastic control system. Yes, time is over. So we'll stop here, students. कहाँ तक आए हम? Open loop control system. ठीक है. So students, thank you for attending the CS lecture. Please write your roll number _ name in chat box. Then you are free to move. Thank you all. Any doubt up to
Thank you, ma'am.
this? Welcome.
Excuse me, ma'am.
हाँ बोल बेटा.
Ma'am, can you share this PPT on Google Classroom?
Yes, sure. I'm going to provide you all these things on Google Classroom. PPT देणार आहे, video lecture पण देणार आहे, काय म्हणतात notes PDF मध्ये पण देणार आहे. Everything I'm going to provide. Don't worry.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a nice
Welcome.
day.
Oh, thank you, Vaishnavi. Same to you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello, students. If you are having any doubt, you can ask me or you can write in chat box also. And while writing your attendance in chat box, please write understood, madam, your roll number and name. Please write in chat box, understood, madam. If you are having any doubt, please write in chat box.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome. And happy Makar Sankranti to all of you. Yes, thank you, Mangesh, thank you. Man, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome, Beta Akash. Happy Makar Sankranti. Makar Sankrantiच्या सगळ्यांना हार्दिक शुभेच्छा. Now enjoy your day. लेक्चर झालंय आता मस्त तिळपोळी खा मुलांनो. Thank you,
Yes,
Aisha.
ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome, Mangesh. Thank you, Aditya.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome.